All right, welcome to Pilates. Oh, excuse me, I forgot to take off my shoes. Bad. Pardon me, please, as I take off my shoes. We're starting with a pole, which could be a broom, a golf club, a piece of PVC pipe, anything that you came up with that is a facsimile of some sort of pole. Should be about 3 feet long. It shouldn't be much smaller than that. Then the band, I have a 6-foot band. If yours is shorter, you can still do it, but you'll know it's going to be more difficult to do it with it. Okay, in some of the moves, if it's too much resistance, just don't do it with the band. Okay, and then finally you have very strong knots on either side. Okay, so that's the setup. The setup doesn't change the whole routine. Just lower your arms, and your band should be sort of like a hammock on the floor. So you want to put both of your feet in the band so that it's under the ball of the foot, and the toes are spread. The feet are just about hip distance apart. Now C, you should have some quite light, relatively light resistance. You know, you should have the beginning of resistance here, and you can always regulate to make the band shorter by just wrapping it around the edge of your pole on both sides or one side, whichever you prefer. Okay, so pulling the pole back against the front of your thighs, settling ourselves in. We're going to reach up through the crown of our head, reach down through your tailbone, pull your thighs back, and let's just breathe. We're going to inhale through the nose, feel the ribs go out towards your arms, and exhale through the mouth through pursed lips and feel those ribs come in. Inhale here again, and reach up through the crown of your head. And as you exhale, keep the length that you have established in the spine, pull your ribs in, and make sure you're not gripping your buttocks in any way. Inhale, get long again. And as you exhale, just widen through the collarbone. Inhale, get long again. And on your exhale, pull your feet apart. We're going to be using a lot of abductors today so that you wake up the outer line of the legs. Inhale here and hold those legs pulling apart so that the outer part of your leg is really engaged. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, get long. And now as you exhale, pull your feet in. We're not going to be doing many adductors today or inner thigh, so let's wake them up anyway. Inhale, get long, holding those feet pulling together. And exhale, let it go. Inhale, lengthen through the spine as you get wide through the ribs. And as you exhale, you're going to pull up on your pelvic floor until you feel that engagement in the low belly. Inhale here, hold that engagement. Exhale, let it go. Let's do it one more time. Just lengthen. Fill your lungs completely. Just relax completely. As you exhale, pull up on your pelvic floor. Feel that low abdominal engagement. Inhale here, hold it and get longer through the spine. And exhale, let it go. We're going to start the workout with a forward fold. I know, Trina, that you're online. You're just going to do a forward hinge. So just a hinge for you, Trina. Everybody else is going to draw the chin to the chest and roll down towards your feet, hanging your head, looking at your thighs. And then on the way up, you pull up your pelvic floor, then your navel. Your shoulders should feel a little protracted here. And then bring them into a neutral position as your head and shoulders come into line and you're straight. We're going to do that a few more times. Inhale to get long. And exhale, rolling down, making sure your hips are not going back. Your thighs are, but not your hips. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale, pelvic floor, then navel. And you're going to come all the way up. until you're in a nice straight line. We'll do it just 2 more times. Inhale to get long. Exhale, flex over. Goodness knows what you've been doing today. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale, come all the way up. So we want to make sure that that spine is warmed up for the rest of the class. Last one like this. Inhale. And exhale, just forward fold or forward hinge if that's better for you today. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale, come all the way up. Bring your hands so that they're almost touching in the center of your pole. Now really pull up on your navel so that your abdominals are very engaged. Your hands are touching, so it'll be the index finger and the thumb that are touching. Your elbows are going to go wide. You're going to pull that pole up towards the middle of your chest and then go down. Make sure your elbows are going wide and high, not pointing to the ceiling, pointing straight out to the walls next to you. You should feel good resistance here. And as you pull up the pole in the front of you, you want to feel the shoulders sliding down towards your waist. We're going to do 2 more like this. It's 2. And just 1 more. 1. Now let's try to put the first 2 moves together. So either hinge forward or flex forward in a forward bend. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, come all the way up, hanging your arms down to the floor, and then pull it right up to your chest and bring it down to a straight arm again. Roll down or hinge forward. Inhale at the bottom, engage your pelvic floor and your navel, come all the way up until you're straight, and the minute you are straight, you bend those elbows and bring it up and bring it down. Forward fold on the exhale. On the inhale, engage the pelvic floor and the navel. Come up to straight. On the exhale, you pull your arms up and down. We have 2 more like this. You're forward flexing. You're coming up until you're standing straight. You're bending your elbows and pulling wide and coming down. We have 1 more time. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, engage your pelvic floor and your navel. Come all the way up and pull up to your chest and lower down. Change the position of your arm, so instead of having the palm facing backwards, the palm is going to be facing upwards, and you have a right angle at your elbow. You should feel moderate to heavy resistance here, so the elbows don't have to be right next to your side here. They could start back a little bit. You want to have your forearms work on a plane, really engage your abdominals here, and reach forward and slightly up and bring it back. Reach forward and slightly up. Don't let your shoulders lift. And come back. Exhale. And inhale. And exhale. And inhale. Let's do 3 more. Forward and back. Remember, it doesn't lower when it goes out. You feel an increase in resistance. You feel your abdominals having to respond. And 1 more time. Exhale. And inhale. All right, hold the pole quite close to you, not touching your stomach, but quite close. Stabilize your hips. And we're going to rotate with our arms in this position. So shoulder blades down your back. And we're rotating the upper body over to the right and pulsing 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. Let's exhale as we pulse to the other side. And come back to the center on the inhale. Exhale, you're going to the first side. 2, 3. Come back to the center. Inhale. Second side. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center on the inhale. 1 more time. Go to the first side. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. Go to the second side. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. Let's put those last 2 exercises together. So please reach out in front of you without dropping your arms. Bring them back. Stabilize your hips. Rotate to the right. And pulse 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. Reach out in front of you. Bring it back. Go to the left. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. Reach forward and come back. Go to the right. Exhale, 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 inhale. Exhale to reach out. Inhale, come back. Go to the left. Pulse 1, 2, 3, and come back to the center. We're pressing forward and coming back. Rotating to the right. It's 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. Reach forward. Come back. Rotate to the left. 1, 2, 3. Come back to the center. One more on either side. Exhale out. Inhale in. Exhale to rotate and pulse. 2, 3. Inhale to the center. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Exhale, rotate and pulse to the left. 2, 3. Come back to the center. Take your left foot out of the band and try to center the right foot in the. Okay, we're going to go into some backward lunges. Don't make them too low. You can stay fairly high. So if I turn to the side, it'll be my free leg going back, not the band leg. The band leg is an anchor leg. So what the legs will be doing is going back and bending a little bit and coming back up. However, the arms are also going to be working. So if you start with nice long arms, as the left leg, I have my right leg in the band, goes back, both arms are going to raise the pole in front of me to chest height and then come back. So try to keep vertical with your body. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. We have 4 more. Step back, lift the pole. Step back, step up and lower the pole. Step back, come up, lift the pole, and lower the pole. Adding on to that move, okay, the second set is not going to be just a lift of the arms. Watch it for a second. We're going to go back, come back up. Then you go back, pull in, stretch out, and come up. Okay? We're going to go back and forward. Go back and stay, pull in a high row, go out and step forward. Step back and lift, and step forward. Step back and lift, high row, release the high row, lower the arms, step forward. One more set like this. Just a simple lunge, back lunge with the straight arms forward. And then we're going back, pull it in, out, and down. That's one side. We have to do the other. Okay, so just take your right leg out of the band and put your left foot in the band. And I'll face you this time, just so that you see a different aspect. But you know what we're doing because we've just done it a whole lot. First, we'll do 6 simple lunges with the straight arm lift, and then we'll start alternating with the high rows. Okay, so right leg should be free. Let's step back and lift the pole and come back. Okay, exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. 3 more. Exhale and inhale. It's very stabilizing to have the pole and the band. It helps the balance. It challenges your arms. Okay, so now we're going to add the alternate. So we're stepping back, and then we're going to add the high row. So we'll start with the simple one, and then add the more complex one, alternating those moves. Step back with straight arms, and come forward. Step back, high row into your body, send it out, and step forward. Just a simple step back and lift, and come back. Now the complex move, you're going to go back, bend, stretch, and come up. 2 more sets like this. Simple back lunge and lift. Come back. You're going back, in, out, and lower. Last one. You're going to go back with a simple move. And then you're going to go back, pull it in, out, and come up. All right, next move actually turns out to be tricky. You're going to take out both feet off the band. You're back to your hammock. And you're going to put the whole apparatus in back of you. Let the band just rest on the floor. And then you're going to anchor it with both heels. Now I try to get all of my heel and a little of the middle arch in that band, because I need that kind of coverage in order for it to be stable. My hands are not pointing backward, they're forward, so the thumb is out and the pinky finger is in, and they're held not very wide, but close, okay? So I will turn so that you can see what's happening here. Getting your good posture, pulling your thighs back, your tailbone down, your chest lifted. Wrapping your hands around the bar, you're just going to pull back with a straight arm. You should feel your shoulder blades retract and those rhomboids really engage, and bring it down to the back of your thighs. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. We have 4 more like this. 4 and 3. Just 2 more. 2. On the last one, hold the arms very wide, and you're going to bend your elbows and straighten. Bend and straighten. Those upper arms at a distinct angle from the shoulder. You're just bending and straightening your arms. The upper arm never moves. We've got 2 more. 2 and 1. And then lower your arms. Okay, so now this time, you're going to bend your elbows acutely and bring the pole from the back of your thighs up to about your waist. Now your elbows may have gone out. You want your elbows pulling together toward the back. Then don't let the bar drop as you reach it out and lower it down. You're pulling it up the back of your body. You're stretching it out. You're lowering it down. Pull up, stretch out, lower down. Pull up, stretch out, lower down. Let's see if we can do that backwards. Let's just reverse the movement. Straight arms pull back, bend your elbows, and then push the bar down the back of your body. Pull out, retract those shoulder blades. Keep them retracted as you bend your elbows, and bring it down. Exhale, inhale to bend. Exhale, go down. We're going to do 2 more. Pull back, bend, bring it in, and go down, go back. Now keep those elbows squeezing together as you bend them, and bring it down your back. Okay, so now take your left foot out of the band again, and try to center the band on your right heel and foot. Okay, so now I'm taking the pole, and instead of having it just in the back, I'm going to bring it around to my right side. Remember that the right foot is anchoring the band. I'm going to put my right hand underneath this pole and bring it up to my shoulder so that it's resting on my shoulder. Okay, so it's like I'm a water porter. Remember, you know, when they used to carry water front and back of poles? Right, then I'm going to thread my other arm through the band. You'll see the band is coming in front of my armpits on both sides, and I'm holding at the edges of the band. My left leg is free. My right leg is connected with the band down on the mat. Everybody understand kind of the position? All right, since we're anchored on the right, we're going to side bend to the right and come back. Now you should feel good resistance just to the right and back to the center. Inhale to go over, the band is pulling you over. Exhale to bring yourself back up. Because we want the opposite obliques to do the work of pulling you back up. Inhale. And inhale. Exhale, we have 1 more. Go over and come back. Now the first time you do the next move, you may feel a little threatened. Okay, just warning you because I did and I thought, oh well, what can happen? The band will come, you know, will break. That's the worst thing that can happen. All right, so I'm just going to have my hand anchored on the band, pull my abs in, and stretch the band up to the ceiling and pull it down. Now you can pull it to the top of your head if that's better, or to the top of your shoulders, and pull it up and bring it down. And exhale, and inhale, and exhale, and inhale. If you don't have a band that's long enough to do that, you could always get rid of the pole and just anchor one end of the band under your foot and do it with the same side on. Back, good. Bring yourself together to the center, and we're going to try to put those two moves together if we can. All right, so it's going to be a side bend and come back to neutral. Reach up above your head and bring it down. Side bend always to the right and come back. Up above your head and bring it down. Can we do 3 more? Over to the center. Reach up and bring it down. Over to the center. Reach up, bring it down. We have 1 more. Over to the center. Reach up and bring it down. Before we go to the other leg, we're going to do another set of exercises. I like to just keep the pole here. It's a good anchor. Just make sure that you're not on your vertebra in your neck. Make sure it's on kind of the fleshy part of your shoulders. So you can see in my back, this is where my neck is. It's nowhere near my neck. It's on the meaty part of my shoulders. So that right leg, which is anchored in the band, is going to be the moving leg. All right, so the straight leg is simply going to kick back and the band is lifting it and lowering it. Your challenge is to not let your pelvis tilt as the leg goes back. So you really have to engage your abs to stabilize your pelvis. We've got 2 more like this, 2 and 1. Now hold the leg back there, bend at the knee, whoops, and straighten. Try that one again. And we're going to try to bend at the knee and straighten. And bend and straighten. And bend, just engaging the hamstring a little. 4 and 3. Whoops, not doing too well. 2. Last one. 1. And bring it down. I hope you did better than I did. Okay, I'm going to put it back on my heel for the other set. Still the same side. Okay, and I'll put it back on my shoulder. Put it on the other shoulder. Okay, and now we're going to do abductors. So we're working the side of our hips. And so the leg will go out to the side and back to the center. Out to the side and back to the center. And again, the band is pulling it out to the side. It should be fairly easy to do. So your job is to balance and use your inner thigh to pull it in. 2 more. 2. 1 more. Now bring it out, and you're going to bend the knee in and stretch it out. Bend the knee and stretch it to the side. Bend and stretch. Bend and stretch. You've got 2 more. Bend, stretch. Last one. Bend, stretch, put it down. Put the other heel in the band. Take out the right leg, and you should be well anchored now on the left. If that didn't work, start from the beginning, okay, and just anchor the band. So now we're anchoring on the left, so we're going left. And we'll side bend to the left. And remember, it's the right side that we want to engage, bringing you over. Over and up. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. We've got 4 and 3 and 2. Let the band do its job and then tighten the band. 1, come up to the center. Then we're going to press over our heads. So if it's irritating your free leg at all, just step that free leg a little forward of the other leg. And you're going to reach up to the ceiling and bring it down. Reach up and bring it down, either in back of your head or to the middle of your head. We've got 4 more. And 3 Got two more. 2 and 1. Bring it down. Good. And then evening out your feet a little bit more, we're going to put those two moves together. So we side bend to the left and press overhead. And side bend to the left and press overhead. And side bend to the left and press overhead. And side bend to the left and press overhead. We have just one more. Side bend and press. And now we're ready to do the glutes, okay? So first we'll do the gluteus maximus, otherwise known as your butt. And the straight leg is going to kick back. Now remember, you gotta pull up your navel, pull up your pubic bone a little bit to stabilize your low back, and just reach the straight leg back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, back and forward. We've got 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Hold the leg back there and cautiously bend the knee and straighten it. Bend the knee and straighten it. You're making an attempt to not move the femur bone as you're doing. Oh, I'm not successful with this at all. Bend and press. 1 more. Bend, press, and then we'll turn around and do the abductors as soon as I get my heel back in it again. Forgive me. I've been working a lot today and I have really slippery feet and it's just coming out of the band all the time. Okay, got it anchored. Bringing it over my shoulder. Bringing it over the other shoulder. And we are ready to go into the abductor move. So left leg only. Going out to the side and into the middle. Out to the side and into the middle. Out to the side, into the middle. Out and in. I think it should be inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Toes forward. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, hold it out there. Simply bend the knee in toward the midline and stretch it out to the left. Bend it in and stretch it out. Bend it in, stretch it out. Bend it in, stretch it out. We're going to do 2 more. Bend in, stretch out. 1 more. Bend in and stretch out. Okay, we're going to take the pole off our shoulders and bring it around to the front. The next move is the last one we're going to do before we go down on the mat. It needs a shorter length on the band. So what I did was wrap the band around twice on one side and then twice on the other side in opposite directions. Okay? And then I'm going to hold the band, the pole in my hand. And so from the side, I have my left arm holding in the center of the band, and my right arm has the band itself. I'm going to stabilize my hips a bit, pull the right elbow back like I'm just drawing a bow, and then bring it forward. Pull it back and straighten it out. If you need a shorter band, then wrap it around one more time and pull and release, pull and release, pull, release, pull and hold. Okay, so now your elbow is going to stay where it is. The straight arm is going to stay where it is. Look at the pole so your nose is lined up with the pole. And in this position, you're going to rotate in the direction of the straight arm and then rotate in the direction of the bent arm. Exhale to go one way. Inhale to go the other way. Feel how stable your hips are. Feel how your arms have to work just to hold this position. Exhale and inhale. We have one more on either side. Exhale and inhale. Come to the center and change arms. Okay, so now my right arm is my anchor. My left arm is my mover. I'm not going to look at the pole the whole time on the first set of moves. My head's going to move with the moving arm. So we rotate and release. and pull. When I say and other times, it's like the bow and arrow. This is very literally like the bow and arrow. Pull and feel the retraction of the shoulder blade toward your spine. We've got 2 more. 2. On the last one, pull back, bring your elbow in, look at the pole, stabilize your hips, and we're going to rotate toward the side of the straight arm, and then rotate toward the side of the bent arm. Exhale, and inhale to the center. Exhale, inhale to the center. We did 5 sets on the other side, so we'll do 5 sets on this side. We have 2 more now. And here's the last set. And that's that. So this is the end of the standing part of the workout. So don't unwrap your poles, because the next part really calls for a shorter band like we already have. So put it down on your mat, and you get down lengthwise on the mat. You'll be sitting in a position of an L, so the upper body is up, your legs are long, and I'm just going to change the position of the camera. Okay, I think we're good. So you can see that I'm in an L, my legs are long. If you need a little bend in the knee, that's fine. You don't want to be leaning back, you don't want to be rounded, you want to be very straight. And then you're going to take your band and wrap it around the balls of your feet. Okay, and you want to make sure that you have a lot of band around the balls of your feet. The tendency is for the band to become like a rubber band, and so you have to work against that and give it a really good anchor with your feet. Okay, so now I want you to turn your palms up, okay, and low row. So you're going to pull your elbows back and then straighten them out. So if you don't feel good resistance, wrap the band around the pole a couple of times. You should feel a retraction of the shoulder blades. This should not be a difficult move, but you should definitely feel the resistance. If you're trying to work on your hamstrings, every time you pull, drive your thighs into the mat, pull up on your pelvic floor, and lift up through the crown of your head. And we've got 2 more. 2 and 1. Keep your arms straight, lift them up a bit, and you're going to try to bicep curl. Try not to drop your elbows wherever they are. They're going to stay in space, and you're bicep curling the pole towards whatever it's reaching. For me, it's the chin right now, because my angle is pretty deep. And we'll do 2 more. 2 and 1. Good. Now let's see if we can, of course, put those 2 moves together. So we're going to low row, stretch out the arms. Bicep curl toward your nose, stretch out the arms. Low row, stretch them out, bicep curl. Don't let your back slump. Keep straightening it up. Keep reaching through the crown of your head. This is a really good postural exercise. Works the core well, really works the back body well. And we have just 1 more. Pull, release. Bicep curl, and let go. You have your palm facing up for these exercises. Now I want you to turn it over so that the palm is facing down. And you can have your hands maybe outside where you have the knots tied on the band, so your arms are nice and wide. The arms are straight, you're still in your L, and you're going to high row and release. A high row brings the pole to the middle of your chest rather than to your waist. It's high so that you're looking at me from the side. You see my shoulder, my elbow, my wrist, and the pole are all in a plane. We've got 4 more like this. 4 and 3. We have 2 more. 2 and 1. Keep your arms straight. Maybe point your toes here because you have a better chance of keeping the band if you do. And you're going to lift your arms up wherever you can get them without leaning back and lower it. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. We'll just do 3 more. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. We have 1 more. Lift and lower. No surprise to anyone, we're going to put those 2 together. So pull into your chest in a high row, straighten out, lift up to the ceiling and bring it down. Pull in, out, lift up and down. Pull in, out, lift up, bring it down. Pull in, out, up and down. Exhale as you pull, inhale as you release. Exhale as you lift, inhale as you lower. Last one, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, and give your shoulders a little bit of a roll to just let them relax. Okay, so we're going to do a rotation and then bring the rotation into a lean now. So start with your high row, pulling it into your chest. Keep the bar at your chest, keep your hips still, and turn in one direction. I'm going to turn towards you, then I'm coming back to the center and reaching it out. Still staying on the same side. We're pulling it into the chest, twisting, untwisting, coming back. Last time, pull in, twist, come back, reach the arms out. We're adding on to this now. So pull in, twist, and then I want you to lean somewhat back and somewhat towards the ceiling so that the back hip is slightly up, the back foot is slightly up, and you are literally just balancing in the middle of nowhere. Then you're going to put your sit bone down, untwist, stretch out your arms. Pull it into your chest in a high row. Rotate to one side. Lift the back hip. Stack your feet. Keep your chest lifted. Keep your back straight. Put your sit bone down. That should bring you back to vertical, but rotate it. Come back to the center. Release your arms. We have 1 more. You're going to pull in, rotate, lean over, and you're at about a 45-degree angle with your chest and your side bodies, both sides of the waist equal. And then you're going to put the sit bone down, come back to vertical in rotation, come back to the center, release your arms. That's almost done, but not quite, okay? Last time, you're going to pull in, rotate, lean. Now in the lean, look at your feet. Don't move anything but your arms. You're going to straighten them and bend them. Straighten and bend. Keep your chest lifted. Keep balancing. We have 4 more. And 3. 2 more. 2. 1 more. Put your sit bone down. Come up to vertical in rotation. Come back to the center. Release your arms. I'm going to do it on the other side now. We'll do exactly the same set on the other side. I will turn away from you because I think sometimes it actually is helpful to see what the body looks like in the reverse. All right, so the first ones are easier. You're going to pull into your chest, rotate to the other side, come back to the center, release the arms. Inhale to pull, exhale to twist. Inhale to come back to the center, exhale, release. Okay, now we're going to add the lean. We're going to pull and rotate and lean, keeping the chest lifted. Put the sit bone down, come back up to vertical, untwist, reach the arms out. Pull in, rotate, lean. Hold that lean, then put your sit bone down, come back up to vertical, but you're still looking to the side. Come back to the center, reach it out. 1 more time, you're going to pull in, rotate, lean, good. Sit bone comes down, your back is at vertical, come back to the center. Now we'll do the bend and press with the arms. We'll pull in, rotate, lean to the side, keep your body where it is, but look at your feet. And then you're going to stretch your arms and bend your arms, and stretch and bend, and stretch and bend. and stretch and bend. You have 4 and 3, 2, 2 and 1. All this time there's been no flexion. You're going to put your sit bone down, come up to vertical. You're still rotated. Come back to the center. Release your arms. Okay, I'm going to move just a little bit forward and bend my knees just a little bit for comfort. And maybe I will make sure that the band is nice and wide too, because it looks like it has become more narrow. And I want it nice and wide for the next set of exercises. Okay, arms long, back straight. We're going to simply tuck the pelvis under and roll down to a place that's fairly comfortable. Make sure your abdominals are engaged. And it's not just your arms holding you, but your abdominals are doing at least 50% of the work. And then you come up, rounding in flexion, and stack your back. We'll just do one more of that. So tuck it under, get into that C curve, pull your head back, drop your chin a little bit. Now zip up from the pubic bone to your navel, increase the flexion or increase your C curve as you come forward and stack your back. Now the move changes. We're going to roll down, get to a place that's fairly high, not too low. Then keeping the C curve in your back, bend your elbows in. It should not be touching your chest. Okay, it's about maybe 8 to 10 inches from your chest. The bar from here on in does not move. Okay, you lower to the ground by simply opening your elbows and you lift up to the bar. The bar doesn't move. Your body moves away from it and comes up to it. Inhale to move away. Exhale to come up to it. Inhale, move away. Exhale to come up to it. The bar is still in space. Inhale and exhale. On the next one, allow your body to go all the way down to the mat so that your head is flat. Your legs should be straight now. Holding on to the outer edges of the pole without doing anything to a nice straight body. Bend your elbows to the side and pull your pole up to your chest and stretch it out. Pull it up to your chest and stretch it out. Up to your chest and stretch it out. Now lift your head and shoulders and look at your toes. Keep your arms straight. Pull your abs in and try to roll up until you feel that you're on your sit bones, and then stack your back. We'll roll down again, rolling all the way to the floor. When you're there, the elbows are going to bend and you pull the pole to your chest. 1, exhale 2, exhale 3, lengthen out your arms, lift your head and shoulders, pull your abs in, make sure you've imprinted your back, and come up as gracefully as you can. When you feel you're on your sit bones, you're going to stack your back. We'll do 2 more, but we're going to change it a little bit. So roll down. Again, the arms bend and the bar comes to the chest. 1 and 2 and 3. Good. Now I want you to bring the pole, bending your elbows to just a little bit above your waist, not up to your chest, right above your waist. Then nod your head up, look at your toes without moving the bar, bringing your shoulders down your back. You're going to curl up around that bar, which is staying still in space. And then you stack in your back as you lengthen out your arms. Let's try that again. We're going to roll down. Good. Pull it into your chest 3 times. 1 and 2 and 3. Now bring it just above your waist. It's not touching your body. It's just hovering there. Lift your head, look at your toes, and curl your whole upper body around this pole, which is dangerously close to your waist. Good. And then come all the way up until you're straight in the L. go down onto the mat again. When we're on the mat this time, we're going to bend the elbows with a difference. Okay, you might want to watch it once if you don't understand the lingo clearly. Right, when you bend your elbows, instead of staying flat, bend your elbows and see if you can put the top of your head on the floor and lift your chest to the ceiling, wrapping your shoulder blades around and up, and then come down. So we're going into a teeny little back bend in the upper back as we do this. All right, we're going to bend the elbows and lift. The head is on the floor. You're looking at the wall in back of you. The chest is definitely lifted. And then you go down. The elbows are bent and kind of pointing to the floor, not rigidly to the floor, but more or less to the floor. Pull it up and lift. Now, if you have a good thoracic extension or a good back bend going on, pull your abs in and then come up in that extension. Straighten out the arms and roll down in flexion. Let's try it again. You can take 1, 2, 3, how many times you need to get into the extension. Bend your elbows. Lift into extension. If you don't get it the first time, go back to neutral, try it the second. And then when you feel stable enough, really pull in your abs to support the low back. Keep this position. Lead with the chest as you come up and lengthen out your arms. Last one here has that move going backwards. It does take a leap of faith. I have that faith because I've done it a number of times. You might want to watch it once. So when you're up here, you bend your elbows, and as you bend your elbows, bring your back into that back bend. Then pulling up on your abs, you're going to go back in the back bend until your head touches before your shoulders. Then flatten out, straighten out your arms, and roll yourself up towards your feet. You're flexing up. And we're going to try that one more time. If you hate the idea of this, don't do it and just watch it. All right, so you're going to bend your elbows, lift your chest, get that feeling of an upper back bend, lead with the crown of your head and go back, holding on back and forth. Head touches, shoulder blades are lifted, then the head flattens out, the arms flatten out, and you can stay on the mat. Okay, take a moment to bend your knees, keep the feet right where they are, imprint your back. Elbows are wide, anchoring the pole in your hands. Okay, so we have the legs in tabletop, and let's have we're going to have the legs straight up to the ceiling. Okay, so just holding the feet here, let's lower them toward the floor, as low as you can go without losing imprint, then bend the knees back toward the pole and straighten up to the ceiling. Exhale to lower, inhale to pull in, and lift. Lower, really engage those abs, don't let your low back lift, bend in, stretch to the ceiling. We have 2 more. For those of you who've ever taken a class on a reformer in the studio, a lot of these moves mimic reformer moves. They're not exactly the same. We have just 1 more, but they're very close. And bend. Keep your legs in tabletop. We're going to go backwards. So, legs go out, legs go up. Feel your hamstrings stretch. They bend and they stretch out. They lift and they bend. They stretch out as they lift. You don't want to curl your pelvis under. Keep reaching your tailbone forward to keep your pelvis flat. Bend down. We have 3 more. Legs stretch out on the diagonal. They lift to the ceiling. They bend into tabletop. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then 1 more. Out, up, and in. Stretch your arms straight to the ceiling. Okay, keep your head off the floor now. Lift it up and look at your knees and have your legs in tabletop. Don't allow your arms to move and stretch out both legs in a double leg stretch. The arms are not going overhead, they're just holding stable. Exhale, 3, and we have 3 more. 4 and 5. 1 more, 6. Lift the legs to the ceiling. Maybe you need to pull your arms back a little, but they're still basically pointing to the ceiling. If your head gets tired, you can lift, bring it down. And I want you to lower your legs as low as you can. Feel the resistance in the arms and lift them up. And exhale. Now with this support, you shouldn't be worrying about losing your imprint. And exhale, go down. And inhale, come up. And exhale, go down. And inhale, come up. We have 2 more. Exhale, down. And inhale up. So we've taken work out of the abdominals and we put it right into the shoulders. Anchor your elbow again. And you're going to take your left foot out of the band and bend both knees. You can keep your head down. You can lift it up, whichever you choose. And we're simply going to bicycle the legs, okay? So the band leg goes out and then the free leg. The band leg and the free leg. The band leg and the free leg. It's 3 and 2 and 1. Keep the free leg straight. Reach the band leg up to the ceiling and let's do scissors. So 1 leg lifts, 1 leg lowers. And with the band supporting 1 leg, you should get good range. We've got 3 more. 3 and 2 and 1. Keep the band leg straight. Bring the free leg into tabletop. Hang on to your elbows anchored at the floor, and let's do a single leg circle with the band leg. You might have to move your free leg a little bit out to the side to get out of the way of the circling leg. 2 more. 1 more. Reverse it. No wobbling in the pelvis, but I don't think you will experience that because you've got such good support here. Now keep the band pointing to the ceiling. Straighten out the free leg and cross the leg over the ankle of the other leg. So you've got crossed ankles and the right leg is anchored by the band. The arms stay anchored. And then with the 2 legs together, you want to do double leg circles without rolling your hips. And you should be able to go fairly low and feel the work in the low abdominals. You've got 3 more. 1 more. Then go in the other direction. Three more. The legs are as straight as you can manage. The pelvis is still. The abdominals are working. Before we leave this, I want you to bend both knees. Now, by bending the knees with crossed ankles, you'll notice you have kind of a diamond shape in the legs, right? Stretch your arms to the ceiling. Keep your knees quite bent. And then you're going to pull the pole over your head and allow your hips to lift. So you're going to roll toward your shoulder blades. You might not get to your shoulder blades, but the position you're in now is a stable position. It's not going to move. So you pull the pole and pull yourself over onto your shoulder blades and let yourself come back. The arms move. And the movement of the arms is making the whole lower body curl off the floor. and come down to the floor. Exhale. I think it's a very soothing move, personally. And inhale, kind of like a back massage. Over. And release. Exhale as those hips lift. Inhale as the hips come down. One more time. Exhale. And inhale. Straighten out the legs. Put the left leg in the band. Take the right leg out of the band. Bend both knees. And we'll start with anchoring the elbows to begin with, because I think the arms get pretty tired if we don't. Okay, so bicycling, we'll start with the band leg and the free leg. The band leg and the free leg. Now, we all know that bicycle simply means reciprocal bend and stretch. 2 more. 1 more. Good, keep the free leg straight, straighten out the band leg to the ceiling. Let's go right into scissors. So it's 6 and 5 and 4. I have to move my pole over a little bit to not interfere with the free leg. You might need to do that. We have 1 more. Good, bend the free leg into tabletop. Keep your elbows anchored. And the band leg does single leg circles. We've got 2 more. Make sure as that leg comes across the midline that your outer hip does not lift. Now let's go reverse. Got 2 more. Excellent. Keep the band leg up to the ceiling. Take the free leg, cross the free leg ankle over the front of the band leg ankle, 2 straight legs, and we're going in a big circle. And come back. Now, see if you can feel the area above your waist, that area between your armpits and your waist. When you go over towards it with both legs, it might want to shorten on that side. So try not to have that happen. Try to keep, then we're going to reverse the direction now. Try to have both sides of the waist stay as long as you can while you're circling the legs and putting different torques on the both sides of the body. We've got 2 more double leg circles here. And 1 more. Come back to the center, keep the ankles crossed, bend your knees, stretch your arms up to the ceiling, and let those arms pull ourselves into a roll and release it out. Now, it doesn't matter if you're not an easy roller and you can only get a couple of inches off the mat, it's fine. We should have just 2 more. Lift and lower. And last one. Lift and lower. Good. You can take your feet out of the band. We're going to come over onto our stomachs. And for that, put the pole underneath your legs. Okay? And kind of hold them there so that when you flip over, the pole is on the back of your thigh. The band is between you and the floor. Got that? And these are pretty straightforward extensions. Okay, so your legs are anchoring the band. They should be a little wide. And the pole is in your hands. Okay, lift up your thighs a little bit to kind of centralize it. And put it as far down towards your knees as you need for the length of your arms, so that when you lift up, you feel some resistance. And I'm going to wrap it around the pole one more time to give myself a little bit more resistance. Okay, then you're going to set yourself up for extension. So point your toes, lift your kneecaps, pubic bone down, navel lifted up, shoulders rolling up to the ceiling and down to the waist. And on an inhale, you're going to lift and reach the pole up toward the ceiling and back towards your heels and come down. We'll just do 4 like that. Exhale and inhale. Exhale, inhale. One more. Exhale and inhale. Now keep your knees wide. And this time, as you come up with the same move for the upper body, you're going to bend your knees, connect your heels, and squeeze them as you're lifting your upper body. Okay? But we're just adding the lower body. Really connect through your abs. Lift up and squeeze your heels together and go down. Lift up, squeeze your heels and go down. Lift up, squeeze your heels, go down. Last one. Lift up, squeeze your heels and go down. Okay, you can just leave the pole where it is and sit back. They're kind of a child's pose. I had a cramp in my foot, so I'm going to try to get rid of that. You can put the band, we're not going to use the band for the next one, so if you want to put the band under your ankles, that's fine. Okay, reach out your arms as far ahead of you as you can. Usually I have you higher in a shell stretch, but right now we're pretty much in a child's pose. So pull your abs in, please. Relax your shoulders. And then I want you to come up in kind of a cat stretch. And then come forward until you're in a plank. And then drop your thighs and widen your collarbone until you're in a distinct extension. Pull your abs in and up to support that extension. And then round as you go back. So the pelvis is tucking under, the chest is reaching forward here. As you come up, the pelvis tucks more, the back rounds more. You come through essentially tabletop, then your chest lifts, your collarbone widens, your thighs stretch to the floor and lift upward towards your hip points. And we're going to go back and round back into a child's pose. And we'll try 2 more like this, coming through, evolving through, lifting up your chest, going from extension into flexion. And just 1 more. We're going extension and flexion. Keep your band short and just put it on your top foot only. And then you're going to stack your 2 legs. This is a nice short side series. You're going to extend your bottom arm all the way along the mat, palm down. And you should have serious resistance on the band already. Pull your shoulder on the top side back towards your spine. Now, anchor your bottom leg. Lift your lower waist off the floor. Allow the pole to drag your body up in a side lift and then bring it down. Lift up and lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 1 more time. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Stay down. You can pillow your head in your hand now. You don't have to have the lower arm extended. Bend your elbow toward the back wall and pull the bar towards your chest. So maybe up the side of your body towards your armpit would be a better cue. Remember, your elbow is not lifting to the ceiling. It's pulling to the back wall. We've got 2 more. 2. On the last one, you're going to pull and kind of anchor it at your hip or your waist. And then you're going to lift the top leg and lower it. Make sure that your bottom ribs or bottom waist is lifted off the mat. We've got 3 more. And 2. And 1. Good. I'm going to stay here and do little circles. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse your circle for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to kick slightly forward and slightly back. And your job here is to keep that torso stable, not wobbly, not rolling. You can flex your foot as you come forward and point the toe as you come back. Flex and point. We've got 2 more. Flex and point. Now our range is restricted because of the band, but we're also supported because of the band. Bring the top leg over the bottom leg. Bend the knee into the chest and stretch it out. You lose resistance, you increase resistance. Lose it, increase it. Lose it, increase it. Just 2 more. 2. 1 more. 1. And then lengthen out your arms. Come up. And let's switch to the other side. Again, wrap it around. For me, the top one is the left now. Whatever your top one is. Leg, that is. Legs are straight. Arm is reaching. And if you had trouble lifting your upper body, then make the band shorter. It will give you more help. All right, so get yourself set. Lift your side waist to begin with. And let the band pull you up. And gradually go down. The arm on the top stays straight. And lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. We have 1 more. Lift. And lower. Good. All right. So now we're going to pillow the head in the hands. Toes are pointing forward. Kneecaps are pointing forward. And we just pull the band up to our waist and set it down. Pull. So basically we're bending and stretching the arm at the elbow, keeping the shoulder blade toward the spine. Really working our arms. We have 2 more. Exhale and inhale. On the exhale, you're going to hold that elbow back, lift the leg, and lower it. Now check out if your lower waist has collapsed to the floor. It possibly could have. Remember, not too high. If you go very high, I know that your waist is not lifted. 1 more. Come back to the center circle. 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice small circles go in the other direction. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to kick slightly forward and slightly back. And try to keep from flexing in the pelvis as you go forward, and try to keep from extending in the low back as you go back. You're trying to stay neutral. Forward and back and forward and back. 2 more. Forward and back. Last one. It's forward and back. Come to the center and simply draw your knee into the chest. I try to get my knee under the top part of the band, because it works better for me that way. We've got 3 more. 3 and 2 and 1. Good. Lengthen out your arm. Sit up. In the closing moves, we're just going to put the band around our back, right underneath the armpits. Okay, so this is where it is on me. I wore a contrasting color so you could see. Right now, we're going to come up on our hands and knees. And the pole goes down to the floor. Your arms are straight, and you should feel some good resistance here. Okay, from here, simply going to do a cat and a cow move. So starting with your pelvis, curl under, drop your head, and feel your back expand toward the ceiling. And then release it down. Exhale. We're going into the cat stretch. and releasing into a neutral back. Exhale. And inhale, we have just 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. You're going to kneel up, taking both ends of the pole in your hands. All right, so you can see my positioning here. So make sure your thighs are back, your tailbone are down, and just press straight out and come back. You're pressing out and coming back. And press and release. And press and release. We just have 2 more. We could go back into a quad stretch here. I just didn't feel like it. And press and release. Now you're going to thread your right hand under the bar and bring the, You're going to thread your right hand under the bar. So now the band is coming from the left hand holding the pole facing forward and just kind of under your chest here. Okay, so I'd like you to do an overhead press with your right hand. And as you do that, side bend with your left fingers coming to the floor and come back. So you press up and reach down and come back. Exhale, side bending, laterally flexing and coming back. 2. Just 1 more. 1. Come back and let's do the other side. So I think it's easier to put the band in your back and then switch it around. It's kind of like a crossbody purse or a crossbody backpack. All right, so the left arm is going to the ceiling, the right fingertips are going to the floor as we side bend and come down. If your hand isn't centered, center it on the pole and side bend and release up. And side bend, release up, and side bend, release up. Last one, side bend, release up. Now, you're going to stride 1 knee forward. I'm going to go sort of on the diagonal so you can see. Okay, the toes on the back are turned under. This is just to finish. You can have your arms bent if you want to. You can have your arms straightened out. It helps you with stability. Going to lift the back knee off the floor and just hover. And then step up to standing. Bend your elbows. And we are done with this workout for today. I want to thank you all for coming and for sticking with it most of the time. This was really terrific. So I really appreciate it. And that's it for today, okay? So I will unmute you. I think.
We're gonna mute it.
Mute all and then unmute all. I guess I can't unmute you right now. I don't know why. Just giving me grief.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, thanks.
Bye.
See you soon. Okay.
Bye.
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 Bye.